Hello, I'm Corelli. Welcome to my channel. You might be watching on Instagram, you might be watching on Facebook, and primarily you might be watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, I want to urge you to subscribe to my channel, hit that bell notification, and enable all notifications. So after quite a while, should I say, I'm now done with all those experimental panels, and now I'm back to the larger format of a conventional stretched canvas. However, I'm still using some pretty experimental gesso. To my memory, I have mixed in some more marble dust, and I obviously mixed in some pigment. And you can see it right here. You can see that the canvas is not white. And moreover, it's deliberately gessoed in a very uneven way. But I mean not the gesso, not the thickness of the gesso, I mean the color of the gesso. I kind of sort of knew and anticipated that these larger canvases are all going to be for the Sun City Series 1. I knew that there would be plenty of landscape and sunny scenes, sunny paintings, so I knew that some of these canvases, if not all, will have kind of a gradient feel to them. The top might be lighter, the bottom might be slightly darker, the tone might shift. So anticipating that, I knew that I'm going to basically use this gradient quality to my advantage. And this is exactly what's going on here. I think it gives it a very subtle feel, and it sort of helps me a little bit in planning out and laying out the big masses when I'm just getting started right here. I have to say though that after spending so much time on smaller panels, this turned out to be quite a little bit of a challenge. Not too much, but it felt very different. And I kind of felt that I got really carried away with the panels and that I should have started this painting earlier, because I started painting this piece sometime in mid-December. The single was supposed to drop on December 22. Oh no, the single for Through the Blue Gates was supposed to drop on January 22nd, which it did. It just dropped. I'm recording this, today is what, the 24th, 2 days later. So it kind of seemed that I still had some time, but I really didn't have that much time, because I've recorded Through the Blue Gates and Sun City, both tracks back to back, the vocals, and then I had to also spend a lot of time mixing the music and then mastering the tracks. I'm still not done with Sun City. I think I'm mostly done with the mixing. I kind of hope that today, on the 24th of January, I will probably wrap up the mix and try to master it. Or maybe I'll master it tomorrow on the 25th, just to give my ears a little bit of rest. I'm trying to drop a single per month, but that also means that I should, in a very mandatory fashion, paint the cover art every month. And because this cover art always involves a large painting like this, it takes a little bit of time. And sometimes it's an easier painting, and sometimes it's a more complicated painting. In this case, this is complicated because I wanted to paint this city behind the gate, and the gate itself should look a certain way, and there should be this lighting, and there should be these guards. And for the guards, I'm not using any reference at all. And for the city, I'm not using any reference at all. And the girl is a different reference altogether. I actually browsed through a whole bunch of art photo channels until I found a model, actually, ironically, a Russian model, who fit the bill, more or less. And then I ended up painting from two models anyways, from two female models. The guards don't have any references at all, so I just had to paint them from imagination. The lighting is something that I wanted a specific way, and it had to kind of align because this is morning light. This was difficult. A lot of it was very difficult. Even though the style of my painting here is pretty loose. I think that Tunnel's Bleeding Life was tighter than this one. This one is fairly loose, very loose, maybe even. So this wasn't an easy painting to pull off, really. There's a lot here on this one canvas. I think I'll try to work with 2 tracks at a time, 2 songs at a time, and 2 cover arts, one after another. Right now, as of just right now, what is it, 5 something in the morning, I'm sitting here recording this episode. For Approaching the Blue Gates for this painting. I've just finished, literally, on January 24th, I finished Sun City Into the Streets, this painting, which is going to serve as the cover art for Sun City, for the song Sun City. I just finished at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I am thinking that tomorrow I'll be very likely to start painting the next cover art. I know it's gonna be complicated because I'm gonna have a female figure there, and I'm gonna have 2 men. I have this scene in my mind, and I'll have to sketch it. And I'll have to look for references just so that I don't horribly screw something up. It's gonna be a difficult composition. Because it should be fairly realistic. And there are other things in the picture that I want. I want to paint my protagonist, the girl. She should be in a gallery, kind of like a Persian gallery, in this city, in the Sun City. She's inside this. She walked through the gate. And she was walking down the street, and then she walks into this gate, and there is this beautiful inner courtyard, and there are palm trees and olive trees and apricot trees, and there's a gallery that runs around the inner court, the inner yard. And in the center of that courtyard, there is a fountain, and there are people there. And then on the other side of the courtyard, there is the exit. There is another gate. But our heroine, she She walks in, and instead of walking straight through the courtyard, she hesitates and she turns and starts walking along the walls. And there's some beautiful stuff there. There's some grapes for the guests, and there's some fruit, and there's some wine for the guests who happen to come in. And so she walks in and she sits down on the marble parapet, if that's what you call it. And there are two men who approach her. One of them has a black beard, and he is a blacksmith. And he's a very handsome man. And the other one, he has light hair, and he's a warrior. And so, in this scene, she sits with her torso turned towards the viewer, and the warrior guy with the lighter hair, he's washing her feet in a beautiful tub. He's washing her tired feet with ointments and water, and rose water. And they are in these cool shadows. But there's some spotlights of sunlight falling across the courtyard and through into the center space. And then there is the other man. He's a blacksmith. He has a black beard. He's a very handsome man, and he's very strong and muscular. And he approaches our girl from behind, and he tries to get her attention, leaning over her shoulder, leaning in. And I want her to look up at him as she has her feet being washed. And I want her to kind of look to the right and a little upward, because he's large. And he's looking down at her, and he's very attractive. And I want to kind of convey this moment when it's almost like he's leaning in for a kiss, and she almost caves in. But she has this other man, the warrior, who is washing her feet. So she can't exactly do that at the moment. It's kind of a very peculiar little scene. But that's what I see for this particular track. And this is the track that's going to come after Sun City. So it is going to be the 7th single. And by the way, I still haven't even written the music for it. I need to write the whole track. I need to write all the lyrics. And I'm deliberately recording all of these videos, and I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of myself so that I can carve out some time, sit down with my 8-string guitar, compose the whole thing, record it properly, give myself time to really immerse myself in the process, and write a good song. It will take time. And here's the finished painting. Here we go. Well, what can I say? It's been a long video. Thank you very much for being with me. And I was recording early in the morning, so damn it, it's almost 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm kind of speaking quieter. Thank you for being with me, and you will hear me next time. Ciao.